Hello everyone, I'm the Shades, and welcome once again to the Internet Hall of Fame. You know something? If there's one thing I love about retro games, it has to be the music. Sitting back and listening to my favorite retro game tunes takes me back to my childhood in so many ways. So it comes as a big treat to find people who love classic gaming music even more than I do. Today's inductee took his love of classic game tunes to a whole nother level by remixing the sounds and adding in his own lyrics to make incredible tracks, the likes of which you've never heard before. So let's get to know today's inductee into the Internet Hall of Fame, Brandon Lackey, otherwise known as the Amazing Brando. Brandon Lackey knows how to remix our childhood. Brando originally began making music for over 10 years with his band Exit Mind Bomb. However, in 2007, after not having much success, he offered to help out his friend Dwayne Zawala in remixing popular game tracks into awesome rap songs. Thus began the adventures of Dwayne and Brando. They released several awesome tracks, including Mega Man 2, The Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, and their all-time favorite, Cheetah Men. Sadly, the group split up in September of 2009, with each doing their own work afterward. Brando continues on as the adventures of, and helped release D&B's one major album, the LP of Devastation, in December. With awesome sounds and great lyrics, Brandon Lackey is ready to be inducted into the Internet Hall of Fame. And now, please welcome the amazing adventurer himself, Brandon Lackey. Brandon, how are we doing today?
Oh, we're doing alright. So far.
Another one of those days. Well, I guess the first question obviously has to be, how did you get started with this whole video game remix idea?
Well, it all started with Dwayne. Actually, he was recording some stuff in the back room of his trailer with boombox speakers. And he did Ninja Gaiden, Little Nemo, and Castlevania, I think. Was it Castlevania? I can't remember, but anyway, I laughed until I cried. And I said, dude, we gotta do this. And he said, oh, I deleted the files. And I was like, dude, it's not a problem. Let's just re-record it. And he's like, okay.
Definitely an interesting way to start things out. Well, give us an idea of the process you go through in writing your music. I mean, it must be very interesting.
Well, we start off with the 8-bit track from the game. And then I figure out what beat per minute it's at. And I set another drum beat over top of it. And then I learn all the parts and record them on the guitar, or keyboard, or bass, or whatever. Simple
but effective. Now, I'm pretty sure many of the people first got acquainted with your work by seeing the awesome music videos that you guys posted on YouTube. How did you make those exactly?
Those are all me playing, actually. The Nintendo footage is. And then I put subtitles on it, and game over.
Well, hopefully not for real. Now, we also know that you've done a lot of different voices for many of the characters, and especially like those in Mega Man 2, where you did all of the Robot Masters and Dr. Wily. How do you come up with all these different voices?
Oh, I don't know. I just picture being 12 and go from there. I try to imagine how all these characters would come off the first time, being a kid, and then, voice them from there, I guess.
Well, there's definitely some interesting voices that have come out now. Speaking of Mega Man 2, I gotta ask, why did Bubble Man get the shaft?
we recorded that whole song in one night. And by the time we got to Bubble Man, we both just wanted to get on to Airman. So that and his theme song was kind of, you know, uneventful. I mean, it's a great theme song, don't get me wrong, but compared to Airman's, it just does not rock.
Poor Bubble Man. Now, on top of just yourself and Dwayne for a while, you also have a large group of fellow adventurers helping out. Now, how do you get all these people to come together and do this kind of thing?
I ain't doing much damage with this rock in the side. My name's JoJo, and someday I got that. Leo, sign me up for the Final Fantasy. You saved Hyrule, and you're a real hero.
Well, we all have the same childhood memories, thanks to Nintendo. So it's not too difficult wanting to get people, or getting people who want to be involved. Honestly, we all grew up with them, and we all love them, and some of us can rap, and some of us can sing, and Leo offered his services. He was the first person to say, hey, let's do this thing, and Dwayne actually was handling that, and Dwayne sent me the files for the Abobo part, and I just thought it was awesome. So, from then on, Leo was the black guy.
Well, at least you got a good group of people to help out. Now, do you do all the instruments yourself, or do you have some assistance of any kind?
I do all the instruments unless noted. Like Zelda 2 is Chris Holland from Lackey's View, obviously. Jesse the Destroyer did a lot of the parts on Final Fantasy. But other than that, yeah, it's just me.
Quite a talent you got there. Now, word has it that you are also working on a project with fellow musician Brental Floss. Can you tell us anything about that?
I can tell you that Proto Man is in love with Splash Woman. And he needs to learn how to sing. And so Dr. Light, played by myself, is going to help Proto Man learn how to sing by installing him with an auto-tuner. So he can woo the siren known as Splash Woman.
Ooh, well, I'll have to check that out, and definitely worth listening to. Now, as of recently, you've been referred to often as the Almighty Cactus. Where did that idea come from?
I think that's Seth. He labeled me the Almighty Cactus. I don't know. I'm just a cactus, I guess.
Yeah, because I actually remember that it was actually on the winning album for the LP of Devastation. I believe that the person behind that came up and gave you that little moniker.
Yes, Alex Keswick. I actually got that submission in my email and opened it up for Dwayne, and we just both sat there just laughing. Dwayne kept saying, "How did he know you were a cactus?" It does. It fits my personality pretty well. I'm the type of guy that just doesn't really need to say anything in order for you to understand what I'm saying.
Oh, it's almost scary in a way how he figured that out. Well, finally, the last question is, what can we expect from the amazing Brando and the rest of the adventures of as we head towards the future?
Well, right now I'm focused on Final Fantasy VII. I try to work something out as far as Proto Man 9. I don't want to have to redo the parts I've done already, but, you know, unless I can get Dwayne to finish that out with me, which, you never know, Dwayne. I'd like to finish that, and I'd like to finish Super Metroid. Most of the instrumentals for Super Metroid are done. I've got some lyrics written, but yeah, I've got that on cue, and just been working on Final Fantasy VII lately, regardless of the fanboys.
Well, to hell with the fanboys. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us here today. And now, it is my distinct pleasure to induct you, Brandon Lackey, into the Internet Hall of Fame.
Thank you. And happy birthday.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Well, folks, that does it for today's episode. Tune in next time as we induct a new member into the Internet Hall of Fame. I'm the Shades.
And I'm Brando.
And we'll see you next time.
Rock on!